My name is Lisa Harrison, and today I'm talking with George Kavassilas. We will be talking about planetary and personal ascension. Now, if you're not familiar with George's message or George himself, then please go to his website at georgekavassilas.org, and there's a lot of information there, some great videos. And the one I would like to recommend to start with is Our Journey and the Grand Deception. Because in that, George covers off very succinctly how the universe was created, why it was created, who we are, how we came here, why we came here, and more importantly for me right now is where we're going. And that's the bit that I really want to focus on today with you, George. You have been very, very busy over the last few months with interviews, and I don't really want to get you to repeat yourself too much. So I really would like to focus on them more so about where we're going. But before we get to that, I have a couple of questions in regards to your childhood. Because you've talked about on a few of your interviews how you have been experiencing abductions and beings visiting you from the time you were little, at least 5, probably before. And I just wanted to clarify, you are talking about physical abductions. You're being removed from your home, from your bed at night?
Yes, that's right, yeah.
And you were being taken on board craft?
Yes, that's right. And also taken to places on the planet, and occasionally I was taken to other worlds.
Now, as a parent, the idea that something like that, something that extraordinary could be happening to your child is kind of terrifying and exciting. But did anybody in your family know what was happening for you?
Well, I tried sharing it with my family, but they couldn't come to terms with it. It was always flobbed off as you're just having a bad dream, and oh, don't worry about it, you know, it'll be all right. And it was just played down. It was dismissed, basically, and that really hurt as a child when you're trying to share your experiences. And yeah.
There must have been a great sense of isolation that came with that. For a small
that's really
child.
well said.
Yeah.
That's really good insight. It was, and I would then try to go to school and function down here in the Matrix and do all the day-to-day stuff that you do. And it was just so challenging and difficult. And I was like a really, really highly motivated student. And then all of a sudden my grades just dropped away really fast. And my parents couldn't figure out why. We had meetings with teachers, and I was sitting there the whole time wanting to tell them why, and I couldn't. It was really strange. It was a really strange experience. And well, I used to sleep in class because I'd been, taken during the night, and I couldn't stay awake in the classroom. It was really, really difficult, really challenging.
Yeah, well, changes in behaviour.
My mind, I had no attention span. I couldn't stay focused in class. It was really very challenging, and just the energy of the classroom itself and the education system, just being immersed in that vibration, for me was very painful. It was really uncomfortable. It used to make me feel sick, and my knowing deep down inside was this is all wrong and this isn't how it's meant to be and all that sort of business. Yeah.
So at that age, you're 5 or 6 years old, you're having these extraordinary experiences, you realise that it's not commonplace, this is not happening to everybody. Did it make you feel special, or did it make you feel different and weird? I mean, kids have got such an identity crisis going on anyway, let alone having these kind of experiences.
I didn't have that I feel special thing going on. For me, it was more trying to cope with it and trying to cope with the experiences. I had some really awful experiences, and I had some really wonderful experiences. So I had both sides happening. And it was more confusion, and it was more just getting down to, in the moment of the day, trying to get through the day, trying to get through every hour. And it was like a struggle like that on a regular basis for me.
Sounds exhausting.
It was as a child, and I sort of coped a bit better with it as I got older. and had things like, I enjoyed listening to music and got into sports a lot. Did a lot of sports when I was younger, and that seemed to um, it also acted as a release, I suppose you could say, because I was able to get my energies out and get some of that frustration out as well, and put that energy and morph it into something different. And so I was very, very active as a young kid.
So when did you, well, for want of a better phrase, come out of the closet with your family and friends? Come out of the ET closet?
Yeah, the ET closet. I would say I always started bringing it into conversations. I remember one day in my mid-teens having a debate with my father about who built the pyramids, and I was telling him that interdimensional beings built the pyramids, and he got angry, like he got really angry, and I thought, why can't I just express my opinion? Why is he getting so angry? Like, even if he doesn't agree with me, there's no reason for him to get angry about it. And then I started realising, wow, there's an energy here that won't allow me to speak up, won't allow me to talk, won't allow me to express myself, and I found it around me, coming through different people. I started to see it back then. It just started to, oh, hang on a minute. And I started to get a grasp of what's going on around the mid-teens.
Mm-hmm. Did that cost you a lot of friends?
Oh, yeah, because I was a space cadet. I was a nutter. And there were some kids where I just didn't talk about it to people, because even though I tried talking about it and tried talking, people about ETs, there were some kids that were like, yeah, we know there's ETs, we know there's life out there, there's got to be. The odd child had an experience here and there, but mostly kids didn't talk about it. And so there were some I could relate to, but they were just a handful throughout my life. It wasn't that many.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing that, because I find that fascinating, both as a parent, but also from the other perspective of if those sort of things were happening to me growing up, and I tried to share that with anybody in my family, I'm sure, I'd have been off to the doctor pretty quick.
Oh, every time there was, this is another thing, the moment there was something on telly to do with ETs, or the moment I would watch something to do with the human spirit, like people being released from slavery, those sort of themes would ignite me internally, and I would either be bawling my eyes out, or I would just become so empowered, like, whoa, I'm going to be doing this one day. It was always there, it was always in me, and it was only later on in life I've come to realise this is my vocation now, and I had inklings of it. It was deep in my core, but yeah, I'm here to expose and share the truth with the people.
Well, let's get to the truth. What is the big deal about 2012 and the next couple of years leading up to it? Why should we care? Why should we think it's anything other than another Y2K? What is it? What is it in your words?
In my words, it's the ending of a cycle, and it's all life has life cycles in these domains of the universe. It's all life cycles. We're not in a domain where we're experiencing eternal life. We're experiencing finite life cycles. And it's understanding the connection to the world around you and the universe around you, and that even planetary systems have life cycles. And this planet we are on, Mother Earth, she's got a life cycle happening as well. And people don't pay that any attention. They just think about their little bubble of reality and don't want to have a look at the bigger picture. And so my understanding is that the life cycle that we as a human race, as a species living on Mother Earth, we're on a journey together with her. And that cycle that we're on this journey with her is now coming to an end, and something new there's a transformation taking place. Because when a cycle ends, you don't just die, you transform from one form to another. There's no such thing as death. Death is really migration. So you just migrate from this level of reality to another level of reality. So we are not going to experience physical death either. The transformation at the end of this cycle is really quite unique, It's something that's brand new in the universe and hasn't happened before. So it's very exciting. The whole universe has all its attention basically here on Earth right now. Everybody's interested in what's going on Earth.
In regards to cycles, obviously the Mayan calendar is one of the better known measures of this cycle. And I've actually come to realise that, or look at the Mayan calendar, not so much as a calendar, but as a timetable. It seems like a very succinct timetable for this evolutionary cycle. And there are the work of Ian Lungold and Carl Kellyman in particular. They focus on a date in October of next year, more so than December 2012. Are you aware of anything significant about October of next year in your experience?
Well, I know that probably from the middle of 2011 onwards is where the real big stuff's going to happen, when the drama really gets rolling. So any time after that, so it's within that time frame between the middle of 2011 right through till the end of 2012, that's when it's going to mostly happen. Because it's already happening around us, but most people are not aware, and the levels it's happening, it's more sort of behind the scenes a little bit. So you can think of the bubble of reality that we are in as kind of like a dam wall, and the pressure's building because what's happening is this change is there's a wave of energy coming through the universe, and it's forcing this change to happen because it's part of the evolutionary process of the universe. It's a living, thinking, feeling, growing, and evolving being itself. So you can't stop what's happening. It's impossible. So gee, I can go off so many tangents here. There are racists who think they can stop it from happening and think they can manipulate this reality, but they can't. It's all just an egoic delusion on their behalf, and that's the reality of it. And so it really comes down to we are part of something that is so grand. We are part of a birthing of a new way of life here, and really the outcome is so wonderful, so positive, so more beyond positive. I mean, beyond this notion of duality. So it can't be stopped, and the process has been held back by Mother Earth as well. She's on one level of her being, on one layer of her consciousness. She's in absolute agony, and she's been holding back for as long as possible. So the changes will happen in a very intense way, but over a short period of time, so there's less suffering.
We actually want to get more in depth with the physical Earth changes a little bit later, but for now, I wanted to concentrate on, in your model, you've talked about there are 4 outcomes for people that are on the planet right now.
Yeah.
And in no particular order, and we'll go into depth about them, but they are organic ascension with the Earth.
Yeah.
We've got your galactic family turning up and taking you home.
Yes.
We've got a group calling itself the Galactic Federation who will come and offer to take you off-world.
Yeah.
And we've got staying with the Earth and perishing in these Earth changes.
Yes.
So I'd like to start with the one that I think has the biggest answer, which is the idea of your galactic family coming and picking you up and taking you home.
Yes.
Who is our galactic family? Why do we have a galactic family? Where is home?
All right, to answer that question comprehensively.
I said it was a big one.
It is a really big one because the answer to that question has to do with the background understanding of the structure of who we all are and where we've come from. And so we are, technically speaking, we are all ETs. And we've all come to Earth from out there on all these different levels of vibration and different star systems and different vibratory realms. And we've incarnated into what we call a human, which is a generic embodiment and holds all the codes. And the reason this embodiment has been created is so that any life form out there of any kind can come and have this incarnational experience. This is the only reality that has that. We are the only physical form that have all these codes. And that then, this opens up a whole lot of doors for further discussion as well. So the understanding of a galactic family coming to pick you up is, for those people who are not going to ascend, the experiences that we're having here, our bodies, in our DNA and our genetics, sort of like record all our experiences here as well. So they're not only recorded in our essence or in our soul or spirit, however you want to put it, it's also recorded physically within our code. So the information of what we have learned here in the way of wisdom due to our experiences is invaluable. And our very genetic codes are, invaluable basically to life out there because of who we are and what we're doing here. So people will be going back home with their galactic family, whether it's from the Sirius system or it's the Pleiades or it's Eridanus or it's, Arcturus or even beyond, any of these type of star systems, because all life out there is represented here on Earth. So that's...
I take it you've probably heard of the Disclosure Project, and
yes, I have.
One or several actually, of the people involved in that have talked about the fact that we have documented, I think it's 57 different races. So, I want to make sure I'm really, really clear on this. What we're saying is that of all the races that are out there, whether they're interdimensional or other planets, this body has been made with DNA from each of those, so that any one of them has the opportunity to incarnate here on Earth in this body.
Yeah, had the opportunity.
Had the opportunity, because that's what we are. That's who we are.
Yeah, and I say had because of what's about to happen on the planet. Things are going to change. So it's so any one of those 57 and every other race that exists out there can, because we have all life within us. We have all the codes of life within our DNA, within our genetic codes, and within our energetic and etheric templates that make up our construct.
Okay.
But that statement that I made before about the Galactic Federation, not the Galactic Federation, our Galactic family, coming to pick people up, there's not going to be all that many that go on that path. There will be a few, but there won't be there's not going to be like half the world's population that takes that path. There's only going to be a certain few, because they are ambassadors for their race of peoples and other races, because that's another concept to grab a hold of, is that we are way showers and ambassadors for life in the universe because of what we've chosen to come here and be a part of on this planet. Great.
That sounds good. I like it.
Well, it's what we are. That's the beauty, the magnificence of what we are. We're so much greater than we are led to believe.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So moving on to one of the other scenarios, which is a group that calls itself the Galactic Federation, are talking about coming here and taking people off-world to other planets that they've prepared for us. Now, on a personal level, I've known about the Galactic Federation for, I don't know, maybe 10 or 12 years. And there's only ever been positive information out there about them, and yet I have always felt rather uncomfortable with them and not been able to explain why. And in the past 12 months, I've been receiving email updates from probably one of the more public figures who claims to be in touch with this Galactic Federation. And this is probably going to offend a lot of people, but I honestly find that the information in these so-called updates, if you're tapped into any of the independent and alternative media, you'll know what's contained in them. And they seem to be forever in negotiations and making sure the legalities are just right and crossing their T's and dotting their I's, and they just sound like the most anal bureaucrats I could have possibly imagined. Not an enlightened group of beings. So I'm interested this is a couple of questions in one. firstly, your thoughts on who the Galactic Federation are, but also what's the difference between this Galactic Federation of Light and another group calling themselves the Galactic Council of Light. But there are another number of other groups out there that I'm aware of. One would be a Council of 9, there's a Council of 12, and Ashtar Command that I know of. So are you aware of all these groups? Do you know who they are and what differences there are between them?
Okay, first of all, when it comes to labels, there are a whole multitude of councils and groups. Each race has its own council. So you've got thousands of races, you've got thousands of councils. And some have 12, some have 15, some have 24, some have 6, some, you name it. So I'm affiliated myself. If you want to stick a label on me, because people like to do that, just to help those people with labels, I'm with the Galactic Council. I also go beyond that into the universe, but just locally in our galaxy, that's what I'm affiliated with. So I was assimilated going back in 2004 when I actually stood up and did a video presentation saying that I was of the Galactic Federation or Confederation, same business. And they had assimilated me, and that was part of the abductions that I was experiencing. They were in the process of assimilating me into their empire. Now, who are they? They are a group of beings who was basically one or two beings at the top of that whole structure that have replicated the universal structure to the best of their ability down here in the lower domains, because they see themselves as God and they want to create their own, be their own godly sort of created beings, their version of it. And so they've created a multi-dimensional structure. It's not multi-dimensional, it's multi-octave within the realms of the third and fourth dimension, because they cannot breach up into the fifth dimension. And then that structure is explained in my video. I can't go into the detail of it here, it'll just take too long. So they've created their own light bodies, and it's of a synthetic light structure. It's not organic in nature. They have their own spiritual hierarchy, their own angelic groups and councils, and it's a whole multitude of the spiritual hierarchy they have created. And they've assimilated into their structure this paradigm, this reality, many thousands of extraterrestrial races, and they truly believe that they are part of the actual structure of the universe. Yet they are contained within this smaller paradigm of reality. They don't see that, because when they're in the lower vibratory realms of that structure and they look up, they see these beings of light up there and they think that that is it, and it's not. True life goes way beyond that. And so they have managed to fool many, many beings and many, many races. And it sounds incredible, I know, but it's taken me a lifetime of experiences, and I've had some really awesome ones, including in 2003 going up through the dimensions of our universe and seeing life for what it truly is. So I'm speaking from experience, and I'm not regurgitating other people's work, so that's another point I'd like to make. So this information I'm sharing with you is because I've taken the journey. I've taken many journeys, and I've dealt with these beings, and I went through the humility and the embarrassment and the pain and the suffering, and at times the wonderment and the egoic trip of being a part of this Galactic Federation, because that's what they feed on. They feed on your yearning for worthiness and importance and all those sort of issues. So I know that they've been here for a very long time. They have sent beings of a lower vibratory level to this reality, and we've been experiencing them, and they're called the reptilians and the greys. And higher up in their hierarchy, they have stolen the genetics of many races, and they present themselves as beautiful angelic looking beings. And it's important to realise that there are beings out there who present as beings of light and ascended masters and what have you, and that's what the New Age movement is all about. Is this group that have infiltrated into our societies via the internet especially, and through channelings and through visitations towards people, and they are presenting this this structure to them. So they're looking like the saviours, like the good guys, whilst, you know, behind the back doors they're implementing all the suffering and all the chaos and the warring and everything that goes on this planet, because they want to implement their solution as the good guys.
So let me just see if I've got this. We've got most people, well, when I say most people, no, it's not, but a growing number of people, put it that way,
Yeah.
are becoming aware that there is a negative agenda on this planet, and the groups that are known of, or the group that is known of as the Illuminati, or the New World Order, is not just conspiracy theory. These guys, or this group exists.
That's fact. I've dealt with them firsthand as well. They've taken me, and I've had meetings with them, and they really don't like me. Like, they really don't like me.
I can imagine.
And because I'm here to do a certain task, and there is probably, you know, just a tiny thread of people or beings within that structure that actually honour me, acknowledge me, honour me, and are backing me as well. Not in the sense that I have, people will take this the wrong way when I say backing me, but when the time comes, we have people of the true light everywhere, in the militaries, in the Illuminatis, in the ruling elites, in all these sort of what we refer to as the dark sort of realm, or shadow governments, and all that sort of negative structure on the planet. And they're playing a very tough role, and when the time comes, they will become who they need to become and change things from the inside out. So it's not just us out here versus them in there. It's not like that. We are everywhere in the structure, and that's what the majority of the ruling elite and the Illuminati fear the most, because they know they are hidden within their ranks and they don't know who it is yet. Some may have been exposed, but really they don't know, and things are just changing from the inside out, and they can't stop it. They are absolutely terrified right now because their grip over this reality has been lost. They have lost it. There are only a few deluded ones that still are holding on to that power, milking it for all it's worth, and still think that they can do something about it. But they are just totally deluded.
So to be clear, this group that's calling itself the Galactic Federation are really part of the same structure. They're just further on the chain. They are part of that same negative agenda.
Yeah.
And in David Icke's words, problem, reaction, solution.
Exactly.
They're offering the solution, which will be their ships coming down to take you off-world when everything gets really yucky, while perpetrating and facilitating the yuckiness. So. Yeah.
Well, you know, the physical change on the Earth are coming from Mother Earth herself, though. That's another thing. They'll want to claim the glory of it, that, you know, things that they did have created these disasters. It's technology, or it's Nibiru, or it's whatever. They will want to claim it, but, you know, that's because they just can't ever go there and just acknowledge Mother Earth for who she is and the power and the strength that she has herself. So she's the one that's actually, you know, going through the changes, and that's what people need to come to terms with as well.
Is the group Ashtar Command affiliated with the Galactic Federation, or are they?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yep. Totally.
Okay. And this.
Yeah, it's all part of this. You can understand how big this umbrella is, and it's, you know, it's all compartments within this massive umbrella. Because, you know, where does it go to? I can tell you where it goes to. It goes all the way up to these beings, and then it goes up to collective hive minds, and like massive pools of consciousness. We're talking about, if you want to get really technical on it, it basically is real dark consciousness from the universe that controls all this. So the lower manifestation of it is the Galactic Federation and the Illuminatis and all that. They're all just part of this massive structure, because it's not just our galaxy. This goes it's an intergalactic cabal, and then it goes out into the universe. You know, it's big.
So is there a difference between Galactic Federation of Light and Galactic Council of Light? Are they two different groups?
Yeah, two different things, because the Galactic Council has to do with the beings who are part of the management group that have manifested life here in this galaxy, and we have come in from out there to help do that, and we work in line with the creator of the universe. So we We are what I would consider the organic council, if you want to use terms that help people to understand it in a better way. We are the organic council. We are not a political group or a made-up group, a religious group, nothing like that. It's just beings who are here managing things because we are all co-creators with the Creator, and we work with the Creator, with God, whatever you want to call it. And we're here incarnate on earth, everybody is, who's part of the real organic spiritual hierarchy of creation. We're all here. You're one of them, I'm one of them. There's so many of us here, and we're all taking responsibility for our creations and for our management.
Speaking of organic, let's move on to organic ascension and what that looks like. That's a confusing issue for people because we've got no concepts, we've got no frame of reference, we've got nothing to go on. So what does organic ascension mean? What does it look like?
Yeah, currently you may not have, but you do because of cycles in the past. So soon people will awaken from within, and it won't be an issue, there won't be question, there'll be no doubt, there'll be no uncertainty, it'll just be a knowing. And that's why I say to people, just relax and don't buy into the drama, because the drama will want to make you feel insecure, it'll want to make you feel uncertain about things, and they want you swimming in this ocean of uncertainty, because that's how you get more easily manipulated when you're not sure about anything. So, you know, that's when I say, people say remain centered, to go within yourself and know that the knowledge and the wisdom of this ascension is within you, and it will become apparent. It's become apparent to me, it's become apparent to many. I know that you feel it because of the discussions that we've had, and your vibration tells me as well. So there's people that already know about how it should be and what feels right to them. And so and that's what I'm sharing, and this is what it's amazing for me sharing these messages, because there is only one truth in the universe, and that's the way things are. And this ascension, this organic ascension, is one that will happen naturally. It will happen with ease and grace, and it will happen, the knowing of it will come from within us. So we've already got that, because it's our connection to life is within. The kingdom of heaven is within, lies within, is what a great man once said. And all the teachings of all the other cultures point in the same philosophy.
This ascension process, is it something that happens in a moment on the 21st of December 2012, or is it something that is happening now, gradually building and building, and we have the ability to ascend tomorrow if we want to? We don't have to wait till December, or is it that moment in time?
Yeah, it's not just that moment in time. It's happening now. It has been happening for some time, decades. Well, it's been the whole journey for the last, especially this cycle of 26,366 years on this timeline. But the foundational timeline is actually 24,832 years. So it's two different timelines. One's fixed, one's the illusionary timeline with the acceleration curve on it, which I talk about on my website for those people who, you know, don't quite get all that bit. So it's got to do with we've been on it for this whole time with all our lifetimes that we've had. And if we just take this lifetime into consideration, it is now happening in a very accelerated way. And when we actually do start to ascend, when we go, there's going to be like openings that will just happen in this reality, and we'll walk through those openings. I like to call them doorways, because it's just a label that people can come to terms with. There will be other openings that will occur, as in the way of technological stargates, and they are not part of the natural ascension. They will be pathways to other worlds and to other realities, which are not a part of this organic ascension. The organic path to the true light is to stay with Mother Earth and to see the journey through with her, because, you know, you've come to incarnate on her body to be here with her. And once we reconnect with that knowing, that understanding, then that journey of taking it with her and walking through these openings into a higher vibratory realm, then that will just feel right for you. If it doesn't feel right for you, then whatever feels right for you, take that path. That's the other point I want to make. If people want to go with the Galactic Federation of Light and that feels right to them, then take that journey, because it's about a soul path. So I'm not here trying to force anyone to go anywhere. I'm just trying to get people to remember the organic path, and people are feeling it inside themselves. They're like, yeah, that feels right. This Galactic Federation business doesn't feel right, which you verbalised earlier. And it's amazing how many emails I'm getting from all over the world saying exactly that, and how relieved they are because finally someone's out there talking and saying, exposing them for what they really are. And so many people have felt uncomfortable with them for so long, but no one said anything. And yeah, it's kind of like that paradigm that gets created. Everybody's too scared to talk at the moment. The first person does is like, yep, that's it, yeah. Oh, phew. It's kind of like that. So it's, there's the organic path. And when we go through to this higher dimension, that's not ascension, that's going back. We're reascending to the fifth dimension, but it's there that the real ascension happens, in that realm, because the goings on out here on this level of reality, Mother Earth needs to cleanse herself and clean her physical body up, and that is going to be, everything here has to go. The whole physical environment has to go, has to deconstruct, because she's becoming a being of light, as we are. So.
And if I understand it correctly, that part of it, the Earth becoming a star, is one way of putting it, happens between December 2012 and March 2013. So if you're still on the planet as we know it at that point in time, if you haven't been picked up by your galactic family, if you haven't gone with a Galactic Federation starship and you haven't gone through an organic ascension process, and you're still with the Earth at that point in time, there's no surviving that. There's no surviving these Earth changes.
No, they'll be so severe, no one will survive them. Because this reality will cease to exist. This level, this vibratory layer, this layer of vibration will cease to exist.
So when you talk about frequencies and dimensions, you talk about coming down through each one. So you're saying the third will no longer exist.
All the fourth, third and fourth will no longer exist. All fourth will no longer exist. So
what happens to those beings, like you talked about before, the reptilians and the
If they don't leave, if they do not leave, then they will perish. That's
but if they can't penetrate through to the fifth, what happens to them? They just cease to be. Nothing ceases to be, though, does it?
Oh no, it'll be like they'll physically die, but then they'll reincarnate somewhere else. They'll either lose their physical bodies here, like when someone dies now, where do they go? They either, they go back home, or they go off to another reality, depending on their soul journey. It's not just one destination for everyone that dies. It's not like that. People are coming and going from all different levels and all different places. So, wherever that individual soul path is, that's where they go. And so if you've come from the fourth dimension and you've incarnated on Earth and you've had a lot of negative experiences, then you're on a descending path. Then you will then maybe either go back home and share the experiences, or you will end up going back into the third dimension somewhere and reincarnating somewhere in the third dimension. So, it depends on the path. Some are coming from the third and going back up to the fourth. Everybody's on their own soul journey. It's not one fits all.
This is interesting in terms of how we're all feeling the changes on a personal level. For as long as I can remember, I've been a wanting to save the world kind of crusader and wake everybody up. But over the last few months, that's changed. And on one level, it feels like a lack of compassion, which is surprising me. But on the other level, it feels like a greater understanding of the fact that we are all on an individual path, and I can't change anybody's story, I can't change anybody's path. I just need to be and allow them to be, but I'm struggling with the conflict in feeling like it's a lack of compassion. And aren't I supposed to be getting more compassionate? And so there's that internal struggle. But I'm also noticing I'm not the only one
there,
going
done
there.
That.
Yeah, okay.
Went through it all, shed lots of tears, used to watch the TV, kids starving in Africa, bawling my eyes out, people being beaten by police, just getting so worked up about that. Been there, done that. At times it still bothers me, but very few and far between. I've really learnt the art of detachment, and I'm not disconnected, I'm not cold. It's not about that. And it's really understanding that there's so many people on their journeys, and these are all experiences that they wanted to have. I mean, we created our lives. Every experience we've had is because we wanted to have it. And it's about taking responsibility, not playing the blame game. So if you're feeling this urge that you have to get out there and save the world, well, we're doing it. You and I having this interview, we're playing our role in the movie. If you want to look at it like a movie, there's all these characters and everyone's playing a role in this drama, in this movie. And you get to the point where you realise that it's unhealthy, not only for you but for others, because you create what's called a positive imbalance. You become a do-gooder, and you interfere too much in a positive way into someone's life, and you put them out of balance. It's not a good thing. It's like a mother who spoils a child. You know, too much positive love is no good in this reality. That's life.
I've seen the evidence of that in my own life, absolutely.
Yep. So it's really important that we take a step back and allow people to be. And what I'm doing is I'm playing my role in this reality. So how can I put this? It's more than one thing going on at once here. Yes, I'm in this reality and I'm experiencing the drama. Yes, I'm having my soul journey. Yes, I don't want to interfere. Yes, I'm having this interview, and yes, I am interfering. Did you see the paradox here? Because if I didn't want to interfere, I could just sit in the cave and just let the world go by and not worry two hoots about it, you know what I mean? But I've actually incarnated to play a role as well. So it's about knowing how to play your role without interfering too much. It's all about balance. It's striking that balance in your journey. It's knowing the journey you're undertaking, and basically going down that path and not trying to steer off the path one way or the other too much.
Well, by doing what we're doing, we're allowing those people who are seeking to have something to find, as opposed
exactly.
to... Yeah.
We're helping. What we're doing is we're guiding and nurturing, as opposed to, you have to do this and you must, and, the odd point when I will do that is when I have to get a little bit authoritarian and play my role as a galactic counsellor and tell certain beings that they must leave and the show's over, which I've done in the past. So there is that side to me that needs to come out every now and then, but that's, again, being the drama in the movie and taking on my responsibility for who I am. So it's so easy for people to judge, but it's understanding a journey, your life's journey. So if you have a set of obligations and responsibilities, how do you go about that? It's not much different to someone who holds a position of responsibility in this reality. If you're a CEO of a company, or even if you're a supervisor, how much do you get into somebody's face about the job that they're doing? Do you take a step back and you let them make a few mistakes so they can learn from it? Or are you just on their back the whole time? It's the same thing, and we're just doing it on a different level. So it's about understanding that.
You talked before about the fact that the Earth has to cleanse herself, and she's clearly doing that on a daily basis right now.
Yeah.
And the Earth changes are all predicted to get more and more intense as we move on over the next couple of years. There's a lot of attention being paid to the sun right now and its solar storms and solar activity. It's been blamed for the earthquake and, volcano and tsunami in Indonesia the other week. More of that predicted to come. So the people who are leaving the planet over the next 2 years, because they're in the wrong place at the wrong time, so to speak, with these earth changes, that's almost a fifth scenario, really, isn't it? I mean, choosing to opt out.
That's their journey. That's their journey. Like, it's sad. From within this paradigm, I feel emotionally, and not too much emotion, but I have a lot of feeling. I don't get driven by emotions like I used to. It's different. emotion is energy in motion, and it's feelings that have spiraled out of control. So it's knowing the difference between emotion and feelings, and emotions serve us beautifully because we learn from those scenarios. So emotion is not a negative thing, it's just, it's a tool, and I've gone through lots of emotional states throughout my life, and now I'm more on a feeling basis rather than an emotional basis. So it's two different states, okay? Just want to point that out. And so people have their soul journey, and if it was like in Banda Aceh, all those people that perished in that tidal wave, that was their journey. And people, it's about understanding how this reality is designed from up above, and up above from higher aspects of ourselves. We are the composers, we are the orchestrators and the conductors of these lives, but from a higher level, not from this ego here, George,
It's my belief that, and I don't really know where it came from, but one that's evolved, that the closer we get to 2012, the people who are choosing to leave the planet en masse like that in these large groups where there's a disaster are actually playing their role and doing their part in assisting the ascension process, because I feel that they're taking a lot of the negative energy with them, or karma with them, or whatever you want to call it, that's ultimately raising the vibration of what's left. Does that make sense?
It's also, if such a large group of people leave all at once, then the people who are left behind and go, whoa, that's pretty full on. Instead of just going about their business and not taking any notice, all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's gotten someone's attention because 250,000 people perished in one go. Okay, that's something to think about. Yeah. That's something to start taking into consideration. It's not like 100 people in an aircraft, people just flob it off. And they do. It's really sad. I've seen it. And on one or two occasions in my life, I've done it, I'm the first to admit to doing things like that. So you'll get to know me. I'm very much a realist. I'm not going to sit here and be all self-righteous and pretentious about life. I'm a real person having a real incarnation and going through it with everybody else. So there's we tend to flop that off. How many times have you done it? We do. We hear it on the news. It becomes like we become immune to it because we hear it so often, because that's all that they throw at us. But 250,000 people dying in a tsunami, that's pretty serious. And now we've just had volcanic eruptions and another tsunami. It's going to get more and more and more prevalent as time goes on now, because Mother Earth's been holding back, and it's getting to a point where she just can't hold back anymore. And those damn walls that I was talking about are going to burst, and it's all going to spill into the public arena, and we're going to see it for what it is.
Today is the 11th of the 11th, and you're probably aware that there is a global meditation organised for today. They're trying to get 1 million people to come together and meditate for peace. And these things are becoming more and more common on auspicious dates. So how much impact can we have if all of this is predestined, if it's all mapped out and planned out, and the Earth is a being who's got her own journey, then how much can we affect by coming together personally or globally and meditating and putting out a good vibe? What difference does it make?
Now you get into the crux of it, okay? Because this is how hard it's been for me, because I'm walking between worlds. We are walking between the worlds, right? So imagine having the knowing that everything is totally predestined, but also being in the movie and experiencing it as though you don't know that everything's predestined.
I know,
that's what it's like. That's what I experience, right?
Yeah.
So because we're in linear time, we got past, present, and future. The future's already happened. Doesn't matter. Like from the moment you and I were born, we were always going to be having this discussion right here, right now. Okay, that's the thing. I was always going to be doing this right here, right now. In fact, when this reality was created from much higher levels of the universe 26,000 years ago, that was going to happen right here, right now. That's how fixed it is. It's written, okay? We have this saying in the Greek culture, when someone passes, we say it's written, because it doesn't make any other sense to why that person needed to perish like that. A young person dying in a silly car accident where an animal just came out of nowhere and bumped the car off, hit a tree and killed them. We get that in Australia with the kangaroos, by the way. So, things like that happen. So it's understanding that this whole reality is fixed, and the future, the outcome is done and dusted. Now, people don't like that because where does free will come into it? See? And the question of free will, well, it's the free will on the higher levels playing out that this reality is fixed, and then we've got this level of us in the drama down here, and we're experiencing free will on this level.
Does that? I think so, but does it mean that from the moment I'm born, there are fixed paths, and I can through will I can change the path?
Totally. But you cannot change the path.
No, but I can swap. Is there multiple paths, and I can through free will
from the much higher realms that created this whole reality and this journey.
Yeah.
Collectively, you, me, everybody involved, all the animal kingdom, everything. Collectively, up in the higher realms of the universe, we created this reality and this experience. So every life form that's involved in this reality here, collectively, we organise this reality, okay? It's fixed from up on those levels. Now you come down a few levels, then they're the levels that will say, yes, you can change it. Do you get what I'm saying? And then we're down in the drama.
When you're here in the drama, are you saying that we got nothing? We got nada.
From the perspective of here in the drama, sure. Can I choose to have this glass of water right now? There you go. I just chose to have a sip right then. From much higher realm, I was always going to have that sip. So we're experiencing life on different levels. Do you know what I mean? Up here, life is perceived in a way. Down here, it's perceived in a different way. So down here, we think we've got free will, but up there, we conducted and orchestrated this whole reality, and I was always going to have that sip of water.
I think I know what you're saying now. Like the, there was a movie with Gwyneth Paltrow, I can't remember the name of it, but it was about two different scenarios where she caught a train and she missed a train. And
Sliding Doors?
Sliding Doors, that's the one.
That's it. That's the one. Love that one. Yeah. Because I experienced that.
In what sense?
I experienced that scenario, but for me it was I was in my home, and I'd seen that movie years before this happened, and I was in my home, and all of a sudden I got this urge to walk back to the door to check if the door was locked. And as I was doing it, I was going, I've locked the door, why am I doing this? I still just walked up to the door, checked to see it was locked, and then I got in my car and drove off. And that took an extra, I would say, 5 seconds. And then as I was driving up past my house, the road curved like that. This car came around the corner, came right over to my side of the road. The guy's face freaked out. I could still see the guy's face because we were going to have a head-on, and he quickly swerved. So if I'd have been 5 seconds, not even, 3 seconds further up the road, he would have smashed into me, we would have had a head-on, and my life would have been different. Then I tuned in, I would have had broken legs, I would have had everything in hospital. My life's journey would have been totally different. But in that moment, I was guided just to go and check that door, which totally changed the scenario.
So what you're saying is that decision to go and check the door didn't occur to you at this third dimensional level. You were always going to go back and check the door.
Yes.
Okay.
It was recalibrating me in this matrix. And that's not from the higher realms where everything's fixed. That's an intermediate level that did that.
Okay. So guidance...
I hope I'm not confusing you too much.
No, I think I'm getting it. It's clearer.
So it's understanding that this...
guidance, you know, when we suddenly have that urge, or we suddenly get that idea, or just feel that compulsion.
Yeah.
It's actually something from a higher level, not seeing... How can I put it? Not changing things moment to moment, just making sure that we're staying fixed on the path that was already created.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. And some people will call it God, but it's really the higher aspect of yourself, which is God anyway. If you want to rule one, you know. So it really, really is a higher aspect of yourself, which is recalibrating in the matrix here, just readjusting your timing in this reality.
Okay, back to Earth changes a little bit. A lot of people out there talking about stockpiling food, becoming energy efficient. Hang on. Yeah.
I'm so sorry to do this.
No.
But you know, I'm getting things from my greater being, just from within here. Something came out. This is a really important point.
Yeah.
So people know that when these things occur, you come to realise that, hang on a minute, you know, I didn't have that car accident. So I'm still here. So that means I'm meant to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So I want people to understand that they're meant to be here. And you realise that you have an outcome to this life. You start to see your journey on a greater level. And you realise, hang on a minute, I have an outcome to my life here. And then when you realise that there is an outcome, that I know I'm going to be a part of this outcome, to this reality. So when Mother Earth ascends, I'm going to be a part of that outcome. I'm going to be safe through this journey. And I want people to know that about themselves too. I want people not to worry, not to be overcome with fear and uncertainty, that this reality has an outcome and they are going to be a part of that outcome. And not to get caught up in the drama. You're going to be all right. If you just allow your higher aspects of yourself to, it gets down to this ego releasing and surrendering the control of this life to a greater aspect of our being, because we're not really in control. That's just an illusion. And the free will we have down here is an illusion. It's an illusion of the lower ego to think that you have free will in this reality.
I just wanted to talk a little bit more about these earth changes, because there's a lot of talk and there's a lot of people, including some that I know, who are stockpiling food, becoming energy efficient or self-sufficient, absolutely preparing for some dramatic earth changes, moving, a long way away from where they are now. Do you think that the earth is, I know you've talked about the dam's going to burst, but do you think it's going to get really, really crazy between now and 2012, or is most of it happening after that?
It'll build up to it. What will get crazy is like the political side of things. That should, it's been happening, it's been brewing behind the scenes, so that could spill into the public arena any day now. So there's a bit of funny stuff going on the planet as we speak, by the sound of it. I don't have a television here, but I've heard rumours that there's a bit of funny stuff going on to do with goings on with a liner or something, a passenger liner. So that sort of stuff will get more, and what they want to do is create a scenario where it's going to, there is a group that's hell-bent on creating war, and they want to destroy humanity and destroy everything. They are kind of like beings of chaos, and it's like, we can't have it, nobody can have it, and we don't care. So that's their attitude, but they're very much lower down in this, paradigm that I spoke of the false agenda. So they want to create an environment. It's going to look like we're going to have war, and we're not. We're going to be taken to the brink, and it's going to look like the New World Order is going to happen, but it's not. It's not going to happen, because other forces, other energy will step in, and one of them will be the false light coming in to do its thing, because it needs to look like the good guys. And then there's also Mother Earth and the ascension process. Now, this false light group is going to offer their version of ascension too. So we'll talk about that later. But as far as stockpiling foods and all that, all I'd recommend for people, because different countries are going to have different experiences. If you're in the US, if I was in the US now, that'd be something I would probably consider.
I'd be getting out, actually.
Well, I would have gotten out a long time ago, personally, because it is a beautiful country, and I haven't been there in physical, but I've been there in spirit, and I've experienced that country, and I've interacted with American Indian elders, and learnt a lot from them. So it's a beautiful country, and it's the modern day Atlantis, and it's about to fall. So it's the replay of that energy, and that's the road to compression we're on. So everything's replaying, but in a slightly different way. I probably would, if I was living there, and try to get off the grid as much as you can. I think it pays for anybody anywhere in the world to try and get off the grid as much as you can. And what that will do is just buy you time, because if things were to have happened already, people would have been suffering for much longer. So Mother Earth is doing the best she can to stop the major changes happening. And on a political level, I've explained in a previous interview as well, and I want to explain it here, is the concept of a herd. And you've got members of this dark hierarchy that see us as their herd, and they feed off our energy and our worship. And it's really important that they maintain the status quo right to the very end, because any farmer who loses the integrity of their herd then loses their power and loses the value of their resource. So these beings really want to take as many of us off-world as possible, because they've never ever had a feed of so much energy. Because we have all the codes within us, we have more connection to life and therefore access to more power. So feeding off the Earth human race has given them the most powerful injection of energetic food ever. So they've never been as powerful as what they are now as well. So for them to lose that, it's really like a death to them. It's freaking them out. So it's important for them to maintain us to a certain level of degree and health, and continue to have people worshipping them in the way of deities, and in the way of, even if you're doing a meditation in the New Age where you bring violet flame in from somewhere else, it's all about externalizing, using other beings' energies to do it for you. So that's giving your power away too, and they feed off you, believe it or not. So it's all about that.
We were starting to talk about how much influence we can have through these collective meditations, and even in our own individual meditations. How much can we help the Earth?
Yeah.
How much can we help each other? How much influence can we have?
Okay, having said that, this reality has its outcome and it's fixed, okay? Don't stop living. Don't do that, because we're still in the movie and we've still got to play this out. And I'm doing that. I'm here, I'm talking, I'm planting trees, by the way, on my property. I'm planting trees. I said that I was going to do that, in that video, Our Journey in the Grand Deception, and I'm literally doing it, okay? I've still got some little pot, what I call it, the little baby ones that you get.
Saplings or?
Now. Yeah, just little baby ones that you get, and then you put them in the ground. And, I don't want that tree to miss out being a part of my life here, and I don't want to miss out not having it in my life. So live life, continue to live life. So do the meditations, it comes down to intention. It all comes down to intention. What is your intention with this meditation? What do you want to achieve with it? So right now it all helps with Mother Earth. So you can either, we get by with a little help from our friends. Mm-hmm. Don't ever forget that. Oh, the Beatles, great song. We get by a little help from my friends. So we can either do it alone, like you can be really stubborn and I'm going to carry that luggage all the way up that hill, and you've got 3 friends taking the journey with you. Say, hey man, we can lighten your load for you. Let me take some. No, I want to do it myself, or you can do it together.
Well, that's really what I want to get to too, is you said live your life, continue to live your life, but how? Because what I'm seeing around me, and I've gone through it a bit myself over the years, but very intensely right now, for people who are just waking up to this, it's only 2 years away. It was, when I first came across all of this stuff, it was 14 years away. It just felt like I had forever. But if you're just coming to grips with this now, or you don't come to grips with this for another 6 months, the grief was an initial response. Particularly for people who, the harder they've lived, the harder their life, the more grief. Because people like that tend to live a life of delayed gratification. One day it's all going to be okay. One day it'll all be worth it. One day, and to think that maybe that one day won't come, there was a lot of grief for some people that I'm aware of. The other thing I'm seeing is trying to keep a foot in both matrices, so to speak. The third dimensional matrix is losing all purpose and meaning. The idea of going to work and doing a job you can't stand to earn money that isn't real, so that you can buy material goods that won't exist and pay off that house that you've been doing for the last 15, 20 years that, again, won't exist. That has just lost all purpose, all meaning. And yet, it's still the world you're in. It's still the world you've got to live in. You've still got to keep a roof over your head, food on the table, pay for the power. You're not in, and yet, and it's also the public facing people.
Can I just say here, people need to know I'm not immune from that.
Well, this is why I'm
I
asking you.
live
How do you
here
do
with,
it?
I live here with you. I'm here, George, house, bills. Got to buy the food. We're not off the grid totally, as much as I would have liked to. Just the journey of my life hasn't allowed for that. So, got to do it. Please understand that I'm here with you, living it. And did I have trouble with this? Oh, crikey, yeah. I went through a lot of emotional upheaval and internal battles between the mind, matrix, heart, ascension. Okay? Incredible battles. It's like I used to say to people, it's like there's a war going on inside of me.
Mm-hmm.
And on many levels, the war was also all the mind control I've had to deal with. That's another story altogether. So it's the journey I've taken has been really intense, and it's taken me a long time to come to terms with everything, and to the point where now I can talk about it. Because I also remember, by the way, I'd like to make this point, I came and did this 12,500 years ago. And some people may remember that a major event took place 12,500 years ago, commonly known as the flood. And people didn't believe me back then, and they still don't want to believe me now. And it happened back then when I said it was going to happen. And it wasn't just me, there are others who were here. I will go as far as saying I'm quite sure that you were one of the beings that came here to share that message back then, and that's why you're playing this role that you're playing in now, and that's why you have that burning desire within you to play this role once again. And so we did it back then, and it happened. They didn't believe us back then, and it's like it's written. Can I just pull something out of a biblical script because it's appropriate? Sodom and Gomorrah, right to the very last days, they built, they bought, they sold, they celebrated, right to the last days. And here we are, and we're still, nearly 2 years out, and people are just starting to get a grips with it, but to the last days. So there'll be people right to the very end that just won't get it, and that's their journey. So really, are we crazy? It's happened before many, many, many times. So many cycles, the same scenario. So are we crazy? No. So just think about that. People need to take that into consideration, not just now. People need to remember that this has happened many times over in this world and other worlds throughout the universe. It's a common thing.
It's not the ones who don't believe that are struggling. It's the ones who are starting to believe that are struggling and trying to live in both matrices. They're the ones that are having a hard time.
Okay, that's a good subject to get onto. And I still struggle with it at times. At the moment I'm choosing a colour to paint the kitchen. We've been choosing paints. I've got to paint the kitchen in the next few days. So I'm not stopping to live. Am I edging my bets both ways? No. People would like to think that I am, but I'm actually not. I know what's coming, but I'm not going to stop living. I want to enjoy new colours in my kitchen. For a couple of days hard work, I'm going to get days and days and days and maybe an next year and a half or more out of it. So don't stop living. There are some, it's about striking that balance. There are some areas I'm not going to bother with. Long-term investments. Sorry.
So you're not holding gold?
That for me is ridiculous. So I won't go there. But, thinking that, yeah. And I've got friends who I hadn't seen since school. One guy recently, and he's gone through his life. He's worked hard, bought 15 houses, done really, really well for himself. And when I told him this information, it's like, George, don't go there. And I'm like, well, okay. Well, you can either hear it from me now and start working it emotionally and mentally and preparing for it, or you're going to be faced with it. It'll hit you like a brick in the face in the next couple of years. Your choice. So it's happening. I'm confronted with these issues by many people, friends, family. There are some people I just cannot talk about it. I can't even bring up just the inkling of the words. Don't even mention 22. Don't even go there, because they get angry. Like it's a reaction of anger, because they've invested so much of themselves in this 3D level that any prospect of anything changing will just and they are going to hurt so bad. They will have a breakdown, literally. They will melt down.
That's kind of what I wanted to talk to you about too, in that a lot of conflict in relationships. You know, one person's on this path, another one isn't.
Oh, yeah.
That's, I'm hearing about that a lot, and it's
been there, done that.
Are you noticing this is a female-led revolution in a way?
It is. Absolutely, and yeah, it's part of the sisterhood, definitely, because this planet is a woman, and it has to be led by the sisterhood. It has to be. More women need to stand up, need to talk about this. Like, I'm doing the best I can as a male. I understand people just got to take a look at my work, and they will see how much I honour the feminine and respect and honour the feminine. We have taken this journey, and the male energy has. So it's important, and this is a point I want to make. It's important for the feminine to let go of the resentment towards the masculine, because if you don't, then you are swinging the pendulum too far the other way, and you're out of balance. So it's important to bring it back to balance. It's important to understand that the masculine, if you talk to Mother Earth and you talk to the Divine Feminine, she will tell you that the masculine had to play this role. Okay? And as hard as it seems, please let go of the resentment, because I know it's there. And I feel it. I feel it in women. I feel it in the feminine. And all I can do is apologise as a male. I'm always apologising in humility for what we have done. And I did that in my wedding vows. I just got married, and I knelt before my bride, and I said to her, I take full responsibility as a male, and I apologise for all the control and all the violence and all the hurt that the male energies have caused throughout the millennia. And I surrender. I surrender my ego, my male ego, to the feminine, and I ask for forgiveness. And I did that as part of our wedding vows. So I know. I've connected with Mother Earth, and I know. I'm one who actually knows. So I'm asking women to stand up. The time is now. Take back your sovereignty. Reclaim it. Because it is this male energy is finished, and it's just a small group of beings who are holding on to it. It is not the true male energy. It's just a small, lower manifestation of it.
Hallelujah.
Yeah. Really, it's time.
Is there anything, because there seems to be some people out there talking about the rules and the must-dos, is there anything in your opinion that we have to do in order to go through this organic ascension process? Do we have to clear our karma? Do we have to learn forgiveness? Do we have to do anything other than have the intention?
All right. On one level, all of the above. But on another level, it's not a have to or must to. It's about letting go and allowing it to happen naturally, because it will. Just let it happen. And how each person goes about it will be different. You don't worry about. You don't have to go into a healing modality. You don't have to go into a religious experience. You don't have to meditate like a Buddhist monk or a Zen monk and for 10 hours a day. None of the above. You don't. If you choose to do that, then that's your experience, but you will soon discover that that's not the ultimate path. The ultimate path is just letting go and allowing yourself to be. Okay? And it is really that simple. The true path to ascension is as simple as it gets. Just connect within and allow your inner light to come out and allow your inner being to come out, because we're turning inside out, and just allow yourself to be. Be natural. Be you. And when you start to do that, that's when you rock the boat with everyone and everything around you, because we've always been fake up until now, pleasing everyone and everything around us. So when you start to be you, it's challenging. Mm-hmm. Hey, a great man once said, to be or not to be. Now you understand what he was talking about, right?
Yep.
Whether 'tis nobler to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. And that's people misjudging us. Outrageous fortunes are people that are misjudging us and unfairly and unjustly misjudging us. So, bear those slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, because believe me, it pays off in the end. You will never feel so at peace and so happy within yourself until you actually get truly to be you. And I'm being me now. This is what I came here to do, and this is who I am, like it or lump it. This is George.
Well, I like
him. George, more than George. Oh, thanks, Lisa. I appreciate that. I do, because, you know, you've got to be real. As we get into these higher realms of the light, we become fully transparent. There's no hiding anything. So don't think for a moment that all thoughts that we have and everything are not known. There's no such thing as privacy. Get over it, because we're completely transparent.
I get the idea that there were all these rules and must-dos and must-don'ts created a lot of questions for people in regards to children. You know, my kids, you know, if they've got small children, then my kids can't make those kind of conscious decisions or anything.
Yeah.
But also for people who are older with older children who are late teens and 20s who are essentially adults themselves. What can you tell us about kids, and even pets for that matter?
Yeah, good questions. Oh, gee, you're asking some good ones. Okay. Okay, here we go. Children. The children are not as tainted as we are, not as programmed as we are, especially the younger ones. Now, there will come a time when they will connect with us, not telepathically. Some may experience it that way, but it'll be more heart-heart connection. And the knowing will be so strong, it's like your child. I mean, have you ever been told off by a child that has told you off?
I've got 3, so yes.
Yeah, but they do it in a way that it comes from a being of great wisdom, and it's like in that moment you're the child. Have you? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's and it really just hits you, doesn't it? And you just go, crikey, I've got no comeback here whatsoever. I won't even bother trying to defend my ego in this moment. They've got me hook, line, you know, they've got me surrounded. It's finished. Don't even bother. And what you say, you know, that's it. In that moment, they've got you. And you know that was wisdom coming through. It's going to be like that. It's going to be so, the impact on the parent is going to be so overwhelming, that child will just say, this is how it is. This is where I'm going. You are not to control me. We either, and this it won't be in words, it'll all be in feelings and knowings. But I'm just verbalizing what the communications will be like. And it, you know, because it's so hard to verbalize these higher levels of communication. And there will be all of that wrapped in, and it'll all happen in just a moment. It won't take long. And that parent will know that that child means business. And they will just be like, wow. And then that child will help the parent to remember who they are as well. They'll provide a great trigger. So the children are going to play a major role when the time comes.
By the very fact that, you know, we've incarnated together as in a family unit, does that mean that we're meant to go through this process together, and that if one ascends, we all ascend, or if we all one gets on a galactic federation ship, we all do, because we've all got the same path?
Okay. Mostly, I'll say that groups will do it together. Mostly. There will be a portion that won't. There'll be, like, if there's like, I questioned whether one of my kids would make it. I get the feeling that both will now, but for a while there I wasn't sure. And I went through the emotion of having to let one of my sons go. Just because of the journey, of the intention, of the energetic patterns that my son likes to experience in this lifetime. Real warrior, real, I would say, dragon warrior sort of energy, and lion warrior energy. Just loves all that sort of stuff. I went through that. I cried a lot as a parent, thinking, oh, what if one of my kids go through? What if it's not their path? Then we have to let them go. That is the reality. If you want to, through your emotional heartstrings, be connected to your child and try and force them down your path, then you're being controlling. And you're going to hurt a lot. So I recommend to all parents to now entertain the idea that if they have a feeling or an inkling within themselves that maybe one of their children aren't going to make it through, or their loved one, like a partner, a husband, or a parent, or their best friend, then I highly recommend to start processing that now. Another way of looking at it is you don't have to process it now. Down the track, when the time comes and the split does occur, you won't be who you are now. So if you look at it from now, you'll feel the emotional pain and you'll process that and you may shed a tear. I did. But what I've also come to know is down the track we'll be different too, and we'll cope with it much better because have so much greater wisdom, and it'll be like, okay, you go down your path and you'll be happy for them to go down that path, and you won't feel all that crying and that pain, that emotional pain like you think you would from now. So
yeah.
Either way, it's your choice, you know. I went through that experience of doing it now, and at the moment I feel free because I don't have that concern anymore. That's why I went through that pain already. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do, absolutely. That actually brings up another point for me, which is having conversations with people about 5D, about what it's going to look like after Ascension, because they're trying to get a grasp on something from a 3D perspective, and they're looking at it like it's going to be the same planet, the same us, the same needs and desires, but we're going to have 5D abilities.
Yeah, so, or just a higher level of technology, and we won't have to work in factories.
And what's going to be the point of living, and what are we going to do with ourselves? It's all just going to be some hedonistic kind of joyride. There'll be nothing to teach. There'll be no one to help because everybody will be able to do the same things, and everybody will know the same stuff.
Yeah.
And so what are we going to do with ourselves? My argument is there won't be, because we're going to be coming from a completely different place, and we'll have a greater sense of purpose and.
Yeah.
We'll have,
Don't you now have a greater sense of purpose?
Oh, absolutely.
You know, and you're not doing as much of the 3D stuff as you used to, and lo and behold, you have a greater sense of purpose. Wow, isn't that amazing?
Yeah, that's true.
So imagine what it's like as you go further down that path, and you're sent to a greater level of a state of being. Your sense of purpose just, it just multiplies. The magnitude of it is incredible. And the first thing I want to say, going back to 5D is not ascension, it's one step in the ascension process. The actual full-blown ascension into universal beings happens in the 5D platform. It's the platform to launch us into ascension. So it's not a trick to lure people into a reality that's not the true path, and there'll be some who will say that, and I'm the son of the Antichrist, all that sort of rubbish that some people have already said. Believe me, that gets put around, and it'll get worse as time goes on. It will. So I'm ready for that. It's good. It's good. I like that people do that, because it really challenges me, and I get to dig deeper and get more powerful. So it's good. So 5D is going back home, in a sense. All right, back to heaven. It's the lowest vibratory level of heaven. That's how I describe it, after taking the journey. So do you want me to explain to you what 5D is like, or what the ascended reality is going to be like? Because I actually got to see both.
Both.
Both. Okay. 5D is, from this reality, it will seem like they're really quite similar. But 5D, we work from one energetic center, singularity, because we're back in oneness and harmony with creation. It's beyond the chakra body, by the way. That's another thing I want to make clear here, is the chakra body is the 4D body, the fourth dimensional body. So people don't like to hear this, because in reality, and I'm going to be totally realistic here, and so you people listening, you have to be realistic. It's a big industry. All right? So all you healers out there, you are part of a big industry. All right? I know you don't want to hear it, but that's the truth. And I'm sorry, but at least I'm being strong enough and courageous enough and respectful enough and loving enough to tell you the truth, where others won't. Okay? You are part of a 4D industry. That is the reality. Are you helping people? Of course you are. We're moving through the 4D right now. So you are helping people. Are you hurting people? Of course you are. We're in duality. You're helping them and you're hurting them. Let's be realistic. What are you using? If you're using so-called ascended masters' energies to do the healing, you're hurting them. on one level energetically. That's the reality. So I'm sorry, but somebody's got to tell you the truth. When you go to the 5D, all those chakras are just, they don't merge because the 5D existed before the 4D. So it's a single energetic center. When you go from 5D down to 4D, you fragment, and so do your energetic centers. So it's a single energetic center, a 5D one. And it's 5, 6, 7D is the highest self, as the realms of the highest self. So your embodiments in those all have a single energetic center because you're back to oneness and harmony and singularity, okay? Now, the 5D body is deeper. So if people are doing healings, what they should be doing is going into the person and using, the healer should use their inner light and the person's inner light and bring out whatever colours and energetic patterns are required to do the healing on the person via that avenue. Stop externalising, okay? So if you want to do it the proper way, do it that way, because that's how all the true healers in history did it, okay? Now, the 5D reality has a really harmonious tone to it. You have access to so much knowledge and wisdom and understanding. The moment you put your attention to something, you get all the information as far as you want. And it's not through the mind, it's a connection through the heart. It's a different state of being. So for me, I had the experience of going to a meeting in the 5D one night, and I was walking across a courtyard, and yeah, there's an ecosystem, there's buildings, there's all of that, but they're not technologically based buildings. They're all made from stone and organic existing, whatever's existing in the natural environment. And they're built in harmony with that environment. So we ask the stones, do they want to be a part of our dwelling, and be a part of the experiences in that dwelling to create that dwelling. And everything is done in harmony. All the plants that want to be inside the building, because the experience of that plant being in the building with the people is different to being outside the building. The energetic patterns are completely different, right? So everything works in harmony. Everyone knows it wasn't destined for that plant over there to be in a building, because what you do is you tune into the spirit of the being who is that plant. And it's like, no, that's not your path. Okay, it's your path. Do you want to be a part? You feel it's your path? Yeah, it's my path. Okay, so we bring that plant into the building. Do you understand the concepts? They're so different.
Absolutely.
And it's so harmonious, the reality, because everybody's on the path. We're all flowing down that river of life together. And also when I was walking across that courtyard and I just acknowledged this lady coming the other way, instantly, in that moment, instantaneously, I had the full knowing of who she was, where she came from, the experiences we had, on what worlds throughout the cosmos we've had experiences together, everything, where her journey was heading, where she'd been, and not only what she's doing in that moment, all of that and more. So it's really incredible. Now, the ascended Earth, what freaked me out is there's no shadows. Nothing. No shadows. And were there shadows in the 5D? Not like we see them here. Very different. It's a shade. It's not like a shadow. There's no darkness. It's totally different. But there's just a sort of a dulling. There's no actual proper shadow. It's hard because the version of duality there, even though it's heaven and it's oneness, it's still frequency, still light. So, it's still a version of polarity. People don't get that. As long as you have light, you have duality. So even right up there at the light of God, light, duality. So people need to come to terms with that. So no shadows, because you go like that and you look in there and it's as light as in there as it is all around you.
How can that be?
Yeah, because the reality is illuminated from within, from behind, from underneath, from inside its existence. And I can't even say atoms because we're going beyond atomical structure. How about that? Yeah. Beyond mathematical construct. And there's no energetic centers. It's just from everywhere is illumination. And it's not blinding light, it's just illuminated.
But there's still form.
There's still form. We're going to have form. But that's one aspect of us once we ascend. So here you're going to have a planetary race of beings okay, in this completely ascended state. So basically, a planetary race of God beings. So we're going to become universal beings ourselves. So we'll be able to travel and do anything, even though we can with our I am presence, we can't do it in a physical form at the moment, to go anywhere and do anything. So we're graduating into doing that, becoming eternal beings. And we'll express ourselves however we like. And then there's another part of our consciousness which will go and start manifesting a universe through light, through the use of light, because we will have graduated to become fully fledged creators, to create using light, because this universe is a light-based construct. And yes, we do exist beyond this universe, beyond what we call God, the creator of this universe. We exist beyond that. And our universes out there have different constructs to this one, and this one is a light construct.
You know what? The idea of hanging out in just 5D sounds really nice for a while. I could use a holiday from all of this. I feel exhausted.
Oh, it'll be at least 3 months in Earth time equivalent that we stay there before the ascension. So we'll be meeting up with friends and family, and there will be a lot of there will be a party. You know, a 5D version of a party, and and there'll be a lot of celebrating because we're going home and we've made it. And then there'll be the preparing for ascension. So a lot of beings will leave the planet on the 5D level because they're not ascending, even after we meet with them, and they'll have to leave, and all the beings will start preparing on Earth in that 5D level for the actual full-blown ascension.
Okay, now I understand the bigger picture.
Yeah?
Yeah, very good. Thank you.
Cool, yeah. And just how it resonates. I say to people, you know, don't take my word for it. Don't, you know, on one level, don't believe a word I say here. You know, really go within yourself and see what it feels like internally for you. Just see how it resonates.
Well, you're one of the very few people that are saying things that I do resonate with, which is all of the power is inside you.
Yeah.
To bring that out rather than calling on external energies.
Yeah.
That we know it all. We have all the knowledge and the wisdom within us. It's just a matter of being still long enough to hear it. Those two things are very strong with me. I grabbed hold of that when I first heard you talk about that, and I thought, this is the guy I have to talk to. There's been a few people I've come across lately who are claiming to have ascended. There's a website that I've been frequenting, and on 1st of November, I think it was, they put up a post saying, oh, by the way, we've ascended. We'll get back to you soon with some updates. How?
Is that right?
Yeah, and it's not the first time I've heard that. So what's going on there? I mean, are people actually going through some ascension process at the moment, or have they just had some kind of experience that they're misinterpreting, or what do you think?
The connection that I have with Mother Earth and this reality and the process, I don't feel that people have gone through yet. Like, I've been going in and out, but I'm still here. When I've taken my journeys, they've been at night when my body lies rest in the bed, and then I go with as my higher self into the realm of heaven, or the higher self realms. You know, fifth dimension, and where I really went was the fifth dimension. I didn't quite get up into the sixth and seventh. When I took the big journey in 2003, I went all the way, and I got to see outside the universe. So again, you know, I'm telling people I've lived this stuff. It's not, you know, it's the experience that I've had is where this information comes from. I don't feel that people are going through yet, and I would say it will come down to the content of what they say. That's how I feel the words that are being shared. I feel like what we can do is, when we read the words, you feel into the words. Therefore, you start feeling and follow the path. Like, I was listening to somebody speaking, and they were talking about these ETs that they're in contact with, and I won't name the name, but I'll talk about the ETs though, and they call themselves the Guardian Alliance, and I followed that energetic stream. I have the ability to do that. We all do, by the way. And so I followed that energetic stream, and then I came across these beings, and when I confronted them, they just went, whoa, it freaked them right out that I turned up where they were. And they had a very square structure to their faces. They had like a very light appearance and an incredibly square structure to their faces, and they completely freaked out. And I said, oh, I know who you guys are, because I remember them from my days in the council, and they are here to deceive, I can assure you that. So I won't go too much on that subject, but you can do that. You can follow the energetic stream and see where it leads you, and feel into your heart. Just feel the energy coming through those words, feel the energy coming through the person when they're speaking. I urge people to do it with me all the time, because I want people to start exercising that internal BS meter, you know, that we all have internally, because that's the best one you've got. Not here, in here. That's your best BS meter that exists. And do it, please do it, because it's important that you exercise that. So when you were talking to me and explaining it to me then, I didn't feel comfortable with what you were saying. Could it be because of my own belief patterns and systems? Sure. Could it be because I want to defend what I'm saying? Sure, that could be. But I'm a realist, I'm very objective, and I know what I've lived, and I know what I've seen, and I know where I've been, and so I can only draw on that.
Okay.
So for me, it doesn't feel right because of the timing, and I know that the doorways won't start opening, or the openings won't start opening at least until the end of 2011.
Well, which kind of coincides with what we were talking about at the beginning of the interview with the dates that Callum and Lungold came up with, being October 11.
Yeah, towards the end of 2011, I've always known that that's when those realities can start opening and people can start going through. So, I've always felt that I'd be sort of in one of the lead groups. Whether it ends up being that way, I don't know. I might hang around here for a long time, till the middle of 2012 before I go through. But I know I'll be going in and coming back out. I've been speaking with ladies, doing a talk, and there was two old ladies sitting in the front there, and when I was saying about the doorways, they're like, yep, they already knew. They're going in, they're coming back out to help too. And there's so many people that actually do know that it's not getting out there that much.
Oh, that was one of my questions. Once you've gone in, can you come back? At least up until 2012.
Some will and some won't, because you'll have that sense of obligation and responsibility for your human family. And the ones that don't come out doesn't mean they don't have any less sense of responsibility. It's just not their role.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Everybody, and they might be doing other work on that level, behind the veil.
Well, George, I want to say thank you, a huge thank you for joining me today. It's been amazing, and you've really cleared so many things for me.
Can I just say too, can we finish up with, when we talked about the meditation, people want to do a meditation for the planet and for everybody around.
Yeah.
Can I ask people, please, when you do the meditation, bring your inner light out. Do it collectively. You know, if you're going to go and sit in a meditation group, don't bring angels. Forget that, because any true angel, any true ascended master will love nothing more than for you to do this, okay? Bring your inner light out. Bring it out and know that it's worthy, it's relevant, it's valued, it has worth, and you are honoured and revered throughout the universe. Bring your inner light out, and you've got the universe in there, all the colours, everything that you need is inside of you. Bring that out and see what happens. Amazing things will happen. So if you need to create protection around your home, around your room, whatever, bring your inner light out and use that. And only ask for beings that are one in harmony with your true inner light, that are from the true organic light of the universe. If you want friends to help you on your journey, ask for them. Okay? Don't ask for any other beings. Okay? Just from the ones that are connected to your heart.
Well, that's a beautiful note to leave this interview on. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Love and blessings to you and your family and our whole human family. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.